Holy Island is a wonder all in itself. It's a place of mysticism, mystery, escape and sanctuary. And this is rather a unique place because whilst we're only 60 miles or so from Newcastle, we are also several hundred yards off the Northumbrian coast, and nature dictates that at high tide this causeway is covered. And whilst these guys might feel rather trapped, I think we're not so much cut off from the rest of the world is cut off from us. And that's rather a nice feeling.
The sands and sea that lie between Lindisfarne and the mainland give the island a feeling of magic and otherworldliness. It attracted Aidan and his monks in the 7th century, who came here for solace and retreat to establish their church.
And of course, it's not just humans that seek sanctuary here on Lindisfarne. It's something of a feasting place for birds. In the middle of winter, you'll find something like 50,000 of them here scattered all over the island. Perhaps it's no surprise then that this was made a nature reserve way back in 1964. I know that all of us who are born and live in this part of the world are deeply proud of where we come from. But if I have a visitor to stay, then it's Lindisfarne that I bring them to impress them. Perhaps it's the fact they can be on top of a fairy tale castle, on top of an amazing bit of rock. Maybe it's the look of surprise in their eyes when we tell them that actually this is the cradle of Christianity in Britain. Or maybe they just enjoy the tales of marauding Vikings who wrought havoc to these islands. Perhaps it's just the excitement of trying to get back across to the mainland before the tide comes back in. But whatever it is, you know that when they leave, they too will have fallen in love with Holy Island.
Some island visitors fall in love with Lindisfarne and don't leave. Kate Tristram came here 26 years ago and decided to join the small permanent community. She's now the island curate.
Why would you nominate Holy Island as being a wonder of the north?
Because it's got everything. Because it's got beauty of scenery, because it's got a very, very great and important depth of history, particularly of Christian history, because it's got fantastic wildlife, especially in the winter, and because it's got lovely people.
What's your favourite season then, Kate, here on the island?
I find the winter actually the most beautiful season, not simply because it's quiet, but because I think the island shows something of the starkness of its actual character in the winter. Our earlier monks were extremely dedicated and, in a sense, severe. And in winter, it seems to be the appropriate place for them.
Just very basic and raw, I guess.
It is basic, it is raw, and it is absolutely lovely. It's opened up for me what has proved to be a very fascinating life.
Well, those monks chose a pretty perfect spot on Holy Island, but they hadn't expected